Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. So today we are gonna talk about a blockchain infrastructure project, Nuls. But before we dive in, I wanted to talk about a disclaimer. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving anybody financial advices here. I'm not asking you guys to buy, sell or hold these Nuls tokens. This is my independent opinion on this project after some research, and this is just my point of view, not making any advice. So I would also encourage you to do your own research before deciding to invest in it. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive in. So right now I'm in the Nuls website. You see that it's nuls.io. So it's a blockchain infrastructure project. Nuls is nothing, Nuls is anything you want in a blockchain world. That's interesting. Their motto is kind of very fresh and unique. So let's see, what is it? Nuls is a global blockchain open source project, which is a highly customizable modular blockchain infrastructure. Okay, so they are basically providing a very highly customizable modular blockchain infrastructure. So it consists of microkernel and functional modules. Okay, so using this they are providing modularized blockchain infrastructure, microkernel and functional modules. And Nuls provides smart contract, multi-chain mechanism and cross-chain consensus. It aims to break the technical barriers of blockchain, to reduce the cost of development and to promote the usage of blockchain technology in commercial world. So basically they are trying to provide a highly customizable modularized blockchain infrastructure for enterprises in commercial field. Okay, so basically it's a commercial enterprise blockchain service provider in that sense. More on this when we'll try to explore the white paper. Okay, so let's move into the white paper. If you just click here, you'll get the white paper. Okay, it's opened here in my browser, but I'm going to use the already opened white paper because I was reading that earlier and I highlighted some of the key points for you. So, and for us, so it is a highly customizable blockchain infrastructure, which is their key mission here and selling point. So let's say how customizable is that and how modularized is that. So let's going down. Nulls proof of credit, so which is good. So they are providing, it's a proof of credit protocol. So basically you would be rewarded for your contribution to the network, Nulls network infrastructure. And so let's see what we have here. What is Nulls? And I think some these you already have seen earlier, but let's recap. So Nuls is a global blockchain open source project which is a highly customizable modular blockchain infrastructure. It consists of microkernel and functional modules. So with the support of microkernel and functional modules, it is Nuls able to provide highly customizable modular blockchain. Nuls provides smart contracts, multi-chain mechanism, cross-chain consensus. It aims to break the technical barrier of blockchain, to reduce the cost of development and to promote the usage of blockchain technology in the commercial field. So right now one of the problem with blockchain is the cost of development. Okay, so there are not many blockchain developer out there. Okay, so and so it's a big problem for blockchain, but as a, if you are a like a programmer, or maybe if you are thinking of moving into that direction, there's a very good opportunity. Okay, so, and I am a computer scientist by myself, so I know like that blockchain developer is going to be really shout after in the in this day and age, as blockchain started to become much more mainstream. So yeah, so now basically what they are trying to do is they are trying to reduce the development cost by making things and development process much more easier, so that a very inexperienced developer can also start developing applications on top of their Nuls infrastructure, which is a really good thing. So their mission, currently the blockchain sector is struggling with making blockchain technologies flexible and convenient. Okay, by flexible means a blockchain infrastructure should work on any sort of environment, any sort of industry. Okay, so that's what the flexibility means. If your so basically the idea is your blockchain should work on the, let's say, financial sector, as well as it should be able to work in manufacturing industry, or it also be able to support provide services to supply chain related industry, or it should also be able to provide services to IT industry, and so on and so forth, or medical industry, healthcare industry, so on and so forth. So your technology need to be very flexible and adaptive depending on the industry. At Nuls, our mission is to build a customizable, universally public blockchain infrastructure. So basically they want to set up a very customizable blockchain so that they can service different types of industry using their blockchain. With our customizable infrastructure, we aim to help enterprise improve credibility by deploying their own decentralized applications. Okay, so basically they are building up a blockchain infrastructure here, so that many different applications can be deployed in their network. Okay, so basically Nuls is going to is a competitor for of that Ethereum, then EOS, then Icon, then Dragon Chain, R Chain, and Zilliqa, those blockchain related services. Okay, so and also there is another one called high performance blockchain. Okay, so basically now will be competing with those. So let's keep going. We are trying to get into the detail of this white paper to see how good this project is, and how much credible their mission. So Nuls is a blockchain that architecturally enables extendability using smart contracts, modules, and subchains. Okay, so these modules and subchains, they are going to be a really key part of their infrastructure, because they are claiming that their architecture is very flexible, highly flexible, as well as modular blockchain. So those is going to be done using these modules and subchains. More on this later. So in the future, Nuls will have multiple subchains. Okay, so there will be one main chain and multiple subchains that are based on functionalities of the main chain. Okay, so it's basically that's where the flexibility comes in. So depending on what type of industry app they are running, they will be branch out from the main chain into the sub chain. They will use the underlying protocols and infrastructure of Nuls to offer businesses a simplified and tailored solution based on their needs. So here it is. Okay, so the whole idea is to provide services to different type of businesses. Okay, and so if you want to make that happen, you need to have a really flexible, diversified blockchain infrastructure. So that's what they are aiming for, which is a really good, ambitious project. Instead of focusing on just a one specific niche, they are trying to go very global and public. So which is a very ambitious goal as well. So if they can be successful in it, then yeah, that will be a really going to be a really great company in the future. And so let's keep going. This is you can see the table of content for this white paper. Okay, so we'll be exploring some of the most important one. Future of blockchains, you already know. Future of blockchain is if you ask my own opinion, I would say it has a really bright future. Okay, so especially the blockchain, because it is quite transparent, and as well as it's becoming more and more trustworthy. All right, and also I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of news articles, video from watching different political figure, policy maker, some of the prominent business leaders. They're all appreciating the technology behind blockchain, how cheap and also how trustworthy and transparent this technology is. It can revolutionize all the industry out there. Okay, but yes, that there is some controversy about the cryptocurrency, but so it's a fact that blockchain is going to stay here. Okay, and that means some of the cryptocurrency is going to be here for long time, depending on how viable their project is. Okay. So yeah, basically, of course there is some scam, so stay away from scam, but there's really great project out there which are for sure going to change the world. And Nuls, what is Nuls? I think we have already talked about this, but let's see if you have any new information here. Nuls is a blockchain with a modular based architecture, okay, enabling customizable modules and subchain operability. Okay, so the subchain you already know. Its two-part design is the microkernel and the functional modules. We already know the microkernel provides the underlying mechanism for the network. Okay, so this microkernel is a very important part of the network. It's basically the engine, while the functional modules are the compartmentalized feature of the blockchain. Okay, so basically microkernel is the engine, whereas the functional modules are what basically control the modules after modules. Okay, since they are breaking down into smaller modules, so that functional modules is going to control the modules. Okay, and once you modularize the entire process, it's going to be very easy for the developer to develop, and also it's going to be very highly scalable. Okay, so the simple base of the main chain will provide a set of modular component that can be customized to the user needs. Okay, so depending on what type of industry the user is from, you can customize that. Users will be free to choose the rules of consensus, storage, smart contracts, arbitration, account systems, anonymity. So basically they are also providing privacy here, anonymity policy, as well as other permissions to designate their subchain. Okay, so basically they can program their subchain according to their needs. Subchains will not be limited to being public chains, but can also be designed as private or consortium chains. Okay, so basically they look like they have a really broad goal in here. So why was Nuls created? The size of the database, difficulty in synchronization, the complex task of performing technical updates on a decentralized network. So these are basically commonly known issue in the traditional blockchain infrastructure that we have these days. Okay, so they try to address this issue. So they wanted to have a blockchain which will solve real world problems but also makes the developer's life easier. So this is a very key point, guys. So they are focusing more on the developers. So basically they want to make the developer's life easier, as I mentioned earlier, so that even a new programmer can start deploying applications and develop applications on their network. And so it will promote innovativeness. because if the development process is too complex, many of the beginners developer won't feel comfortable and confident enough to start working, right? So it's a good thing in that sense. Existing blockchains are limited in performance, and cross-chain communication is still being explored. Okay, so basically, so the thing is, say let's say cross-chain communication means probably Ethereum can't communicate directly with neo blockchains. So for example, they need to have some intermediary or some API or middleware in order to make those communications easy. But in future, those is going to be needed, in order for the global adaptation of blockchain. All right, so this is a must feature need to have. Organization and business will not be interested in using a consortium or private chain that is not completely trustworthy. So trustworthiness is another very important topic, feature they are focusing on. Nuls will provide a reliable solution to this problem. Okay, so they are basically building a very high performance cross-chain communication enable and trustworthy blockchain. Let's explore more on ease of use. Its ease of use, improve development time. So if your system or platform is easy to use, this will definitely improve the development time by offering a simple programmable environment. Okay, so they are claiming that their programming environment is very simple, and that will help the less experienced developer. That was I was saying earlier. So it's very ease of use. So yeah, that's a very good point. So many developer will start developing program for this, and that's how their community will grow. Adaptable to numerous application scenario. Okay, so they are basically aiming for different broader multitude of applications. The developer can easily perform basic tasks and make use of modular parts such as the multi-chain system and smart contract. High performance. So this is probably the most important topic of the blockchain, the most important feature, along with the privacy and security, trustworthiness. So because most of the existing blockchain, they lack performance. They are not really scalable in a global scale. To be more specific, like some of the best performing blockchain that we have existing, like they have not a proof of concept or maybe still under development, but they are already deployed, are going to be Ripple and Stellar. They support up to I think between 1,000 and 1,600 transaction per second. Between 1,000 and 1,600 transactions per second. I think Stellar Lumen is probably the fastest one, the fastest working one. There are some other which are going to be claiming that they will be supporting a lot more, like high performance blockchain. They are saying that they will be supporting millions of transactions, and same is EOS, I believe. But Ethereum, BTC, they are way behind, and so is the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. So performance is a really important issue. To give you much more elaborate idea, like if you think of MasterCard or Visa card, and if you take a look into their transaction history, so MasterCard and Visa, they usually process between 40,000 to 55,000 transactions per second. Okay, so yeah, that's what global scale means. So most of the, I think all of the existing working system blockchain infrastructure can support that much. Okay, so but in future, yes, because see that blockchain is still like in the baby state. Okay, it's still like an infant, so there is a long way to go, and which is a really good thing, and as well as good opportunity. So high performance. So Nuls also going to provide high performance. So they're how? So using parallel expansion technology through the multi-chain system, millions of transactions per second can be processed to the main chain and subchains. Okay, so basically it looks like they are claiming to be supported millions of transactions per second, just like high performance blockchain. I guess they're also claiming that they will be supporting millions of transactions per second. So if so it's a very good point. But I think their technology is different. So here Nuls is using parallel expansion technology, but they don't really provide it how the parallel expansion technology work. So maybe they could have added that in their white paper. But anyway, so on the other hand, what HPB does is it incorporates, it has a two module. One is the hardware module, like it's a high performance processor based system, and then I can't remember, it's ASIC based processor, or so it's basically a hardware and software combination. So they have a software module and hardware module. So combining those hardware architecture along with their in-house software, they can support millions of transactions. They are claiming that they will be able to support millions of transactions per second. And here Nuls is saying they are using a different kind of technology, which is parallel expansion technology, to support millions of transactions. If they can support millions of transactions, that would be a really good. It's so good that nobody won't be able to ignore. But the thing is, if they can make it a reality, okay, so it's a good thing. Balance in transparency and confidentiality of data, so these are very important, okay, and also these are like key point in order for blockchain to be mass adopted, okay, for mass adoption. These two are the very key point. So Nuls is open source, you all know. It protects the confidentiality of data, which is very important. So that's a very good thing in subchains through data isolation and cross-chain auditing. Okay, so that's a good point. So they can provide confidentiality. And this balance between transparency, also they will provide transparency, because the thing is transparency is a key. Just think about the relationship between you and your banking transactions. So those are very transparent. So that's why you trust them. Right, transparency as well as confidentiality are very key element for trustworthiness. So some data need to be transparent, some other need to be like you need to make them confidential. So that's why Nuls will appeal to commercial businesses. Okay, that is a valid point. If you can provide transparency and confidentiality of data, of course you are going to be widely accepted. Nuls economic model. Now let's quickly go over the Nuls economic model. So I believe they have overall the maximum number of tokens that they have is 100 million. Okay, so it's a very low supply in that sense, which is also a very good thing. So that is the maximum number of tokens. Then they are going to be available. Right now, I think there are 40 of them available. Okay, so if you let's go back to the coin market cap, let's see. So Nuls, okay, so here you see the total supply is 40 million. Okay, so this is, by the way, this total supply is 40 million. It's not the maximum supply. Okay, so sometimes people get confused with the total supply, but if you go to their white paper, you'll see that their total supply would be actually more than 40 million. It's 100 million. Okay, so we'll get there, and also see that their market cap is very low at this point. So that's also, and also it's kind of now 238. I think it's probably a good price for now. It used to be 4.5, like two weeks ago, or maybe around 2.5 weeks ago. Okay, so we'll get to that market cap later. So let's finish it up here. So they are going to do a airdrop. 40% of the token is going to be airdropped, which is about 40 million. Okay, ERC20 token, and I think they are going to release that later, like when they are going to perform that airdrop. And development funding, so there will be 20% of the total tokens, which is 20 million, will go towards continued development. So which is a very good thing. That's how they can make their blockchain infrastructure much more robust. Community funding, so they are trying to build a very strong community So which is a good thing, because all the blockchain's success the most significantly depend on the community they build. 20% of the token, which is 20 million, will be allocated for building the community. Okay, so which is a good thing. Business cooperation, so business, this is very important. 20% of the token, which is 20 million, will be used for business partnership and to support high quality Nuls based third-party project. Okay, so basically if somebody want to release their own applications and doing an ICO kind of thing, Nuls is going to provide support to them if their project is really high quality. So if you do the math, what you find out that their maximum number of token available from Nuls is actually 100 million. So which is a very good number. It's not like a super high volume, high supply coin, high supply token. It's a very low supply token in that sense. Okay, so you can see the distribution here in the graph. So we already spoke about this. And network maintenance, this is for network maintenance. 5 million nodes will be created to the proof of credit. Okay, so basically this is going to be provided to the miner and and to secure the network for network maintenance purposes. So let me see, let's just do the math. Yeah, initial issue quality 100 million. Okay, so now if you add this 5 million of miner, then it's going to be 105 million. Okay, so now you see, if you add this 5 million for network maintenance, is going to be 105 million. Okay, so if they can set it, keep it like that 105 million, that will be really good. But but it looks like it's an initial issue quantity 100 million. So that means maybe there is a chance that they will increase the supply a little bit as later down the road as their company started to grow. Okay, so subchain operation. So as you remember that they have a main chain and many subchains. So and subchains are needed for a healthy ecosystem. Null subchains are required to pay a certain amount of Nuls token. Okay, so the subchains will be used for to pay the Nuls token and to maintain the healthy ecosystem to the qualified people who will be supporting their network. And this is going to be how they are going to allocate this token, Nuls token, in the Null ecosystem is going to be determined by the community boards. So it's pretty much, it's basically like almost similar to the I think Arc ecosystem. Okay, Arc is doing the kind of the same thing. The community boards and those up there, based on some consensus, they will give you token for staking purposes and to support their network and so on and so forth. So let's keep going. Technical design. So here, if you take a look here, this is the Nuls technical design. We are not going to spend much time just to show you how it works. So probably many of you are not going to be a technical person. So this is they are going to be a modular architecture. Okay, so you can see it's module by module. So as a result, it will be very faster to develop, as well as it will be easy for the programmer to develop multi-chain mechanism in order to provide services to many different industry and different types of applications. Smart contract, so which is logic container, and then POC, proof of credit consensus. So here the voting happens, then all this minor, that's how you get reward and different dividends, bonuses. So basically you'll get reward for your contribution to the community, to their blockchain infrastructure. Okay, I'm going to skip this. Credit rating. So now let's think about this credit ratings. So the credit rating, the credit system is the coefficient that is used to determine a user's integrity and trustworthiness in the network. So which is a really good thing. So this will once again, this will impose that trustworthiness and the quality of the blockchain. Okay, and also it will make things transparent. Credit ratings are between -1 and 1. and are automatically calculated based on the behavior of the node using the credit rating algorithm. Okay, so basically these things would be applied for minor, then master node, and those kind of things. Okay, so let's keep going. Consensus reward. Consensus reward is computed based on the amount of staked coins and the node credits submitted by all consensus nodes. So which means in future they will be supporting staking as well. Okay, so yeah, so that's also a very good point, I think, for to invest in this coin. Staking is kind of like a dividend. So if you keep the way staking work is, if you keep the coin in a wallet, so you're going to get reward depending on the algorithm. It can be weekly basis or it can be monthly basis, like ARC, or you can also determine if you want a daily reward, weekly reward, monthly reward, something like that. So I think these are all to encourage the community, to build the community. Modular architecture. Modularity, it supports modularity, so it is flexible, because whenever you make a system modular, by default is going to be flexible as well. Okay, meaning that if you change one module, other module you don't need to change anything. Okay, or you can simultaneously change multiple module at the same time. Okay, so that's the very great benefit of modular system. Okay, so just think about maybe your the car that you drive. It is a modularized system. As a result, if your transmission goes bad, you just need to change the transmission. You don't need to throw away the entire engine. Okay, so that's the whole idea. Since everything is a module, technical upgrades can easily be made to add the latest improvement to the blockchain. Yeah, so that's the thing, ease of improvement and ease of development. So here you can see a modular architecture, module manager. There are 7 different modules: smart contract, ledger, storage, network, account module, consensus module, and processor module. Okay, different processor. So this is the Nuls modular structure, as you just saw. Now let's keep going. So multi-chain system, we already spoke about that. Subchains report to the, so basically the way it works is there will be one main chain and multiple subchains. Subchains report to the main chain, and main chain audits and verifies the block headers. Okay, so there will be one main chain and multiple subchain, and they will report to the main chain, and main chain will audit. And also there are cross-chain consensus domain, which is main chain and subchain make up the cross-chain consensus. So basically the idea is main chain and subchain, they need to interact and agree. So that's how the cross-chain consensus work. Here is a diagram as well. So it looks like their paper is quite thought out, quite detailed and thoughtful. So there are more on this, more technical details. Let's keep going. Safety is a very important issue, by the way. Okay, so and they are gonna follow 2 policies to guarantee safety for the network. One is minimum node requirements for cross-chain consensus, and another is the dynamic adjustment rotation. Okay, to prevent a single cross-chain node from broadcasting information continuously to the network. Okay, so dynamic adjustment and minimum node requirements. So the next is smart contract. Nuls has a built-in smart contract virtual machine, Null SVM, very similar to that Ethereum. So the smart contracts are used by the higher level applications. Okay, the applications use a smart contract. So that's where the trustworthiness line. Okay, so because the smart contract are like, they are the one which maintaining the trustworthiness between 2 party, and smart contracts are interpreted by the interpreter, stored by the storage module and computed by the Nuls VM virtual machine module, and supports various higher level programming language. This is a very key. So their smart contract supports various higher level programming language, so as a result it's going to be very helpful for the developer. Okay, and developer can select any of their desired programming language, which is a very key. Instead of keeping it restricted to only one language, let's say C# or C++ or Java, they made it like a very flexible, which is a very key thing I believe, because it will encourage many developers to develop applications in this platform. Open source community, so as I mentioned, they are trying to they are trying to build a very strong open source community. So Nuls is an open source project that is driven by the blockchain community. So the open source nature of the project offers transparency and trust for developers, which is vital in building a strong community. The community will provide comprehensive development documentation and fully developed tools to assist and support developers. Nuls has set up the community foundation with 20 million Nuls token that will be used to support excellent projects, reward contributors to the Nuls ecosystem. Okay, so which is a very good initiative. Okay, Nuls Community Foundation is registered in Singapore, and you can look up for more information. Nuls, they provided all the detail, the number of their community foundation, so which is basically a legal entity there. The main goal of Nuls is to promote a community-driven development platform that incentivizes innovative projects to be developed and offer the tools to simplify and fast-track development for developer. Right, so it's good that they're focusing a lot on community building. That's how projects grow and thrive. So now if you take a look here, you see that roadmap. So I think we'll be done after this roadmap. Okay, and then you see that the roadmap, they have March 2018, they are going to complete the development of basic modules and continuously improved built-in modules such as smart contract, multi-chain, parallel, and cross-chain consensus. And then May 2018, they are aiming to start and promote more applications to be accessed within the Nuls ecosystem. Okay, so basically they will be partnering with other developers, so that other developers can release applications on their platform. Okay, and that's where the real value of their blockchain infrastructure will be given to the world. Okay, so the idea is, if you have a network but nobody is using that, then that network doesn't make any sense, right? So they have infrastructure, so then now if people start to make use of that, that means they are doing something very valuable. And then after May 18, they are also going to launch mainnet. Okay, so I think after, if they can successfully launch the mainnet, then they are the price of their token is going to jump maybe 3-4 times. Okay, so maybe even more. So the more applications they release, it's going to add more value to their token as well. And also they are planning to release PC wallet, mobile wallet, blockchain explorer, and so on. So looks like they have a lot of things on their plate right now. Okay, so for detail, you can also see here, these are different more technical things up there. Smart contracts will have support for 3 programming language, so they will be releasing smart contracts somewhere in May, and then it's going to have support for 3 programming languages. So that these are, I think these information are mostly important for the developer if somebody wants to develop. And also it's good to know, as in if you plan to invest in it, and you have interest in it, is also good to know about their features, their support. So let's keep going. Okay, so in December 2018, they are planning to release smart contract module in-chain joins in Nuls. Okay, I don't know what in-chain is. In-chain, is that a company, or it's maybe, or look like maybe, I think it's probably similar to subchain probably. Okay, so there will be a mainnet, main chain, and then our thing is subchain. And then more on this, so complete more function modules including POW, proof of work module, and POS, proof of stacking. So they are basically going to support both proof of work and proof of stacking. At least five subchains join in Nuls, and at least 15 applications runs on Nuls. So their goal, this is going to be their goal. I think it's for after December 2018. Okay, since basically for next year, after December 2018. All right. So now let's keep going. We are almost done with the white paper. So I think they could provide much more detailed, elaborate timeline here, maybe. So because then they're saying at least 30 subchain join in Nuls, but we have no idea what the timeline is. At least 50 applications run on Nuls. Is it by 2019 or 2020? So I don't know. So I think they should have mentioned that clear timeline. Okay, so this actually I have no idea like when they are planning to do all this. Provides technical solutions for at least 20 industries. Build new ecosystem based on Nuls such as big data. Okay, so but timeline is missing, so they should have used the timeline. So let's summarize their white paper. So the trust is one thing that they're trying to provide, and making trust is simpler. They're also trying to make this trust process simpler. And they're also claiming that it's want to bridge the gap between business and blockchain adoption by providing them modularized, flexible services. And the lack of talented blockchain developer is a very key issue right now. Once again, guys, this is a very, very important issue at the blockchain community right now. The lack of talented blockchain developers, and also I would say it's an opportunity. If you want to become a developer and focusing on blockchain would be a really viable option right now. That's I can tell as a computer expert by myself. So because it's going to be very, very sought after position from now and as well as in the future. So yeah, that's now let's go back to their website. Okay, so now I think we need to take a look into their team, the Nuls team. Okay, see who is there in the team. So as we can see that the Nuls team is completely composed of young people, very young, energetic people. Okay, so in one sense it's a very good thing. Okay, because young people are these days, they are changing the world. But on the other hand, it's a bad thing because they don't have any look like they don't have much more experienced people in the team with big name tag from big name corporation. So let's see the founder. You see that founder is also very young. He has over 7 years of experience in the programming field, and the name is Jason Zhang. Jason has 6 years experience in the banking security sector and has designed security system. Okay, so this is a very good thing. So he has designed security system for dozens of banks in China. He's familiar with nearly all cryptographic algorithms. So that's a very key thing. Okay, and also you see that he's a founder as well as lead developer. So he's the lead developer now. So he has also worked in cross-border payment, in which is 17 banks in China. Okay, so basically he had a really extensive experience in the banking sector, development sector. So he developed cryptographic algorithm, security system all his life. So which means, and also on top of that, he's a lead developer. That means security is going to be a big priority for him in the Nuls ecosystem. So it's a really positive things, I think. Okay, because since he's a security guy, but I think Lily Wang, she's more of a PR person probably. Okay, she's also co-founder, co-initiator of Nuls. She's proficient in negotiation and strategic thinking, strategy. So basically, she's the one who is doing maybe business development, community engagement, and marketing stuff. And then Reaper Ram, he's also co-founder and community leader. Reaper has been studying blockchain technology since 2013. Reaper has a very in-depth knowledge of the community operations, working and building various community. I think this is the most important thing here. He works in BitShares community as well as Neo community board. Okay, so that means he got some very good experience, and I'm sure if you have interest in blockchain, you know the Neo project. So he worked on that. It's a very good thing. Reaper is in charge of community operations and affairs of Nuls project. So he can bring his new experience here to enrich this project. So similarly, you see that these are all very bright young men. So I think he's the English community manager in America. So basically they are trying to build a global community, and that's why you see that they are basically the community manager. He's in Sam Almir. I hope I said it right, so forgive me. English community manager in Australia, and he's the Eugene Lee. He is the English Chinese community manager in Singapore. So they are trying to build a really strong community manager across the globe, and these are the core developer. Okay, so all of them have a fairly good amount of experience, 7 years, 9 years. So yeah, so they have a quite good amount of experience in their portfolio. Okay, so yeah, so but only one thing is missing. What I think here is that as far as the people's concern is concerned, like people, that any experienced mentor in the team, maybe, or some advisor, or like some experienced individual, or maybe a group of people. Okay, so they can also provide that. So I'm not saying that those are absolutely necessary, because if your project is good, it will take off no matter what. Okay, but having experienced people can help you get the confidence of people. Okay, the people are going to have much more stronger confidence in you. Okay, but you see that these are all young, bright people, so, and with good experience, and also it looks like that founder is also a lead developer. That's, I think, that's a very plus point. Okay, so basically he's a technical guy. He knows the ins and out of things. Similarly, kind of the founder of Binance. The founder of Binance used to be a computer programmer himself. He worked on different banking industry, some of the big names like Bloomberg and some other. So yeah, now you see Binance is probably the fastest exchange in the crypto exchange in the world. So yeah, so now it's a very positive thing, I would say, being a founder and lead developer of the project. All right, so now let's move on quickly, the last part of this video. So the market cap. So now we are in the coinmarketcap.com. You see that right now Nuls is trading at 238. It's the date is February 11th. February 11th, it's trading at 238. Like 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, it used to be 4.5 actually. Like 3 weeks ago, it used to be 4.5. So they lost quite a value. Okay, and also you see the market cap is really low, $56 million USD, which is a really good time to get in if you want to get in big. But again, do your own research. And total supply is a really good indicator of the value. Is 40 million, which is a very low supply token, low supply coin. So you see that there is a massive opportunity for growth in here. Okay, so it's a 55 million market cap, and there are 40 millions token. So these are some of the positive thing I would say. And also it's right now it may be undervalued at this point because it lost a lot of its value. Okay, so I think it has a really great opportunity to grow. If you compare this with some other blockchain, it will be competing with, let's say for example, Neo. If you take a look into the Neo, let's see how much is this. Okay, market cap is almost 7.5 billion. Okay, 7.5 billion. All right, and total supply 100 million. So, and then another is EOS. Okay, EOS market cap is 5.9 billion, almost 6 billion. Okay, and 900 million supply. So you now see that so there, and it's also going to be compete with ICX. If you see, it's the market cap is 1.5 billion, 1.6 billion right now, and it has 400 million total supply. All right, so, and there is another one called Nablio, which is also another enterprise blockchain infrastructure, and they have total supply of 13.5 million, and the market cap is 145 million USD right now, 146 close to. All right, so this is it's going to be competing with all this blockchain infrastructure. And also there is another one called HPB, high performance blockchain, which is 134 million, and the total supply is 100 million. All right, so now let's go back to Nuls. So I'm just showing you just to give you an idea, the comparative, so that you can make some comparison. So you see that it's still sitting at 56 million market cap. So, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a really big if they can execute what they claimed in the white paper and on their website. Okay, if they can execute those, it's going to explode bigly in this year after the release of mainnet. Okay, but do your own research to make a rational, educated decision. All right, so that will be all for today. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and also subscribe for more. All right, bye bye, peace, take care.